Buenos días, queridos alumnos de Cela Spanish School Online. In our class today, we will learn the conjugation of regular verbs in the present subjunctive. You have this video also available in Spanish. We make the videos in English because having the explanations in this language helps many students. I apologize for my imperfect pronunciation. This video is part of the material of our online course, El Subjuntivo Paso a Paso. Vamos a comenzar. We recommend studying the subjunctive at the intermediate level after knowing most of the verb tenses of the indicative and having studied the imperative. We recommend our online mini course on the imperative. In the previous video, we have explained what the subjunctive is and in a very general way what it is used for. Bien. In this table, we have the conjugation of the regular verbs in the present indicative. The regular and irregular verbs are the same in present indicative, present subjunctive, and in the imperative. When I talk about the endings of the verbs, I will use Spanish pronunciation. As you surely remember, the endings of the regular verbs in the present indicative are o, as, a, amos, ais, an for verbs of the first conjugation that end in ar, o, es, hemos, eis, en for verbs in er, and o, es, imos, is, en for verbs in ir. Let's see what happens in the present subjunctive. I have written the expression tal vez in the table since, as we explained in the previous video, we do not use subjunctive in simple sentences with a subject, unless they start with ojalá, quizás, tal vez, probablemente, and posiblemente. Muy bien, let's go to the conjugation. Tal vez yo trabaje. Tú trabajes. Él, ella, usted trabaje. Nosotros trabajemos. Vosotros trabajéis. Ellos, ellas, ustedes trabajen. As you can see, the verbs that end in ar have the vowel e in the endings. Es, hemos, eis, en. We also observe that the first and the third person singular are conjugated equally. Comer. Tal vez coma. Comas. Coma. Comamos. Comáis. Coman. The endings of the verbs that end in er and in ir are the same and have the vowel a in the endings. The first and third person singular are equal. Escribir. Tal vez, escriba, escribas, escriba, escribamos, escribáis, escriban. The verbs that end in er and ir have the same vowel a in the endings and have the same conjugation. As we know, the present subjunctive and the negative imperative have the same conjugation. Let's examine this in more detail. In the imperative, we have fewer personal pronouns. The first person does not exist because if I give myself an order or make a suggestion, I will do it with tú. Nor do they exist in the imperative él, ella, ellos, and ellas. In the positive imperative, we have tú trabaja, usted trabaje, nosotros trabajemos, vosotros trabajad, ustedes trabajen. In the negative imperative, the persons tú and vosotros change. Tú no trabajes, vosotros no trabajéis. The rest of the persons remain the same. No trabaje, no trabajemos, and no trabajen. Let's see again the conjugation of trabajar and the present subjunctive to compare. Tal vez trabaje, trabajes, trabaje, trabajemos, trabajéis, trabajen. It is clear that the present subjunctive and the negative imperative are conjugated in the same way. In the subjunctive, we have all the personal pronouns again. The imperative and the subjunctive have similar functions. I tell my son, haz la tarea, and use the imperative. In quiero que hagas la tarea, I am giving the same information, but with the verb quiero in the main sentence, I am talking about an expectation I have about an action of my son. Hacer la tarea. I want him to do the homework. The expected action is expressed using the subjunctive. In both cases, I am telling my son to do the homework. In the sentence, no hagas la tarea, I am using the negative imperative. The form of the present subjunctive and the negative imperative is equal. This is why it is very important to study the imperative before the subjunctive. To practice practice conjugation of the subjunctive, I recommend you make some sentences with quizás, tal vez, ojalá, probablemente, and posiblemente. Our students who follow the online course can do the material exercises with solutions and teacher corrections. Let's now make some examples. We will place the verb in the correct form of the present subjunctive in the following sentences. Tal vez, tal vez estudiemos español en México el próximo año. Estudiar ends in "ar" and has "e" in the endings in subjuntivo. Posiblemente los precios de las frutas suban el fin de semana. Subir ends in "ir" and has "a" in the endings. Quizás comamos pasta para la cena. Comer ends in "er" and has "a" in the endings. Please do not forget that in simple sentences with a subject and a verb, we do not use the subjunctive. Only in sentences with ojalá, quizás, tal vez, posiblemente, and probablemente. For example, los jueves vamos de copas, comemos pizza y vemos películas en mi casa. Here we have several single sentences. We are talking about actions that we usually do on Thursday. The same sentence with quizás. Quizás el jueves vayamos de copas, comamos pizza y veamos películas en mi casa. Here we are talking about actions that we expect to do together. In the written material of the course, we have more exercises. In the next video, we will learn about irregular verbs in present subjunctive. We invite you to visit our website where you can learn more about our school and our courses. Hasta pronto en un próximo video.